Judge Alex. She was only looking to make some new friends.
I met him as a friend. He knew I was a lesbian, and he kept telling me, "You're not a lesbian, you're bisexual. You need to be in a relationship with a guy."
But at some point, this friendship took a romantic turn, and the two now share a daughter together.
You had a child together, right?
I was drunk.
Today, Judge Alex does his best to maintain control.
I'm trying to explain to you how I was trying to get in to find out what I could about him. Because I certainly would tell somebody about my ex-husband.
Don't do that.
As a cop, he stood up for the law. As a trial lawyer, he fought for the truth. And as a criminal court judge, he commanded authority. Now, he returns to preside over America's courtroom. Real cases, real people, real judge. Judge Alex. Megan Bidwell, in court today with her girlfriend, Catherine Moore, is suing the father of her child, David Hale, for $3,735 because she claims he ran up their joint credit card, leaving her with a bill and abandoning their child. But David Hale, in court today with his wife, Angela Brown, claims it was Megan who abandoned him, leaving him for another woman. David also says Megan opened the credit card account and expected him to pay for it after she ran up the bill.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Alex Ferrer presiding.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Miss Bidwell.
Yes.
You're suing your ex-boyfriend, Mr. Hale, who you call a deadbeat, because you say he won't pay for child-rearing expenses for the child you had together, and he also owes you money on a credit card.
Yes.
Mr. Hale, you say that she's just trying to extort money from you.
That's correct.
Okay, let's hear it.
I met Mr. Hale in the summer of '08, right after I graduated high school. In between that and college.
Okay, how'd you meet?
Online.
Okay.
And I met him as a friend. He knew I was a lesbian.
You had a child together, right?
I was drunk.
Okay. Why don't you take me through this?
Okay. When I met him, even though he says it was a lie, I told him I was a lesbian. I wanted friends that lived near my college. He lived near my college.
Right.
And my parents were not comfortable with my sexuality at the time, and he kept telling me, "You're not a lesbian, you're bisexual, you need to be in a relationship with a guy."
He was telling you were gay?
Yes.
Don't you think she would know? I mean, can you imagine somebody who's gay telling you you're not straight?
Of course not.
He's not straight.
I'm sorry?
He's not straight. He made a pass at one of my best friend's boyfriends recently, and I'm best friends with one of his ex-boyfriends.
Okay, but why is he married?
Why am I married?
To try to hide from child support.
That's
okay.
not...
Let me just get back to the beginning here, okay? You're gay.
Yes.
You met him.
Yes.
He told you you're not gay.
Yes.
You got drunk. You get pregnant.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what happens from there on.
Before I got pregnant, when I was dating him, I got a credit card while I was in college. And I used that credit card the first time to get a mini fridge, a microwave, the things I would need in my dorm room. I needed help paying the bill. I asked him if he could help me because I was only working a part-time work-study job.
But you weren't looking at him as like a boyfriend?
No, not really.
Well...
Kind of, sort of, but not really. I wasn't looking at him intimately.
Didn't you just say we were dating, Judge?
In my documents here, it says that you just had some dental work done.
Yes, sir.
So is that the reason you have some trouble?
It is.
Talking? Okay. So you weren't really looking at him as a boyfriend. You were looking at him as a friend. He's a friend of yours.
Yes.
Okay. So this friend of yours agrees out of the goodness of his heart to pay off your credit card.
Because I'd also used it on gas when we were hanging around and going places in the area.
Yeah, okay. People do that with friends, right?
That's untrue.
That works in your favor, so I don't know why you want to fight it.
Why would I pay somebody else's bill?
Okay. So... you run up the bill, paying stuff for your dorm room and other items on the credit card, and he tells you, I'll pay it. How much was it?
At that time, it was $300. He offers to help me pay the credit card statement with his family member's bank account.
That's another lie.
Did his family member know that his bank account was being used for this purpose?
No, he posed as that family member.
That's another lie.
Did he actually take the money out of the account?
Yes, and that family member had the payment stopped a few days later, and I did not know it.
Okay, so the bottom line is your card did not get paid off. It's up to his family member to prosecute him if he wants, if that's true. I don't know if it's true or not. So the credit card does not get paid off. What else?
It was used until the payment got stopped because they had currently accepted it, and we used it to I got him cigarettes, I got him gas, so he could go running to get scrap metal because it was apparently the only job he could find.
He will not take money out of his family member's account unwillingly.
Okay.
He's not that type of person.
Except you didn't know him at that time.
Okay. All right. And how long have you two been married?
We've been married a month, but...
A month today.
A month today.
Yes,
well, happy anniversary. How long have you known each other?
About 7, 8 months.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you can come celebrate your anniversary here.
Coming up, will today be Mason's last day on the job?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You are so fired.
And later, what causes Judge Alex to throw in the towel?
Why should you have to go to Walmart and wire money when you can go out and purchase the physical
And
item
mail it.
and mail it yourself?
It gets there faster.
And refuse to give me
All
the
right.
address.
I am done.
Judge Alex returns with a case of Megan Bidwell, who's suing her ex-lover David Hale for $3,735 because she claims he ran up their joint credit card account and is now refusing to pay for it. She also asserts that David abandoned the daughter they share together. David Hale says Megan opened a credit card account, ran up the bill, and now expects him to pay for it. He also claims Megan has refused to allow him to see their daughter.
I contacted Ms. Bidwell on Facebook.
Okay.
I was being sneaky. She had clothes for sale online.
What were you asking what she's selling for?
She said she needed extra money for the baby.
But why were you asking?
I told you I was being sneaky. I was trying to get in. That was my husband's ex-girlfriend.
Okay, so she says she needed money for the baby, so she was selling clothes.
Well, she said she needed, for household expenses, we'll put it that way.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to get in to figure it all out because I'm trying to help him see his child.
Okay, well, I am trying to figure what you're telling me out.
Okay, what I'm saying
I don't really know where you're going with this.
What she says that I don't know him as a person, but I do. Because I wouldn't be with him as long as I have, and I wouldn't have married him.
Right. So, and what did that have to do with the Facebook question about selling clothes?
No, that's how I was trying to get in, because I asked her what kind of person he is.
PI work.
Okay. And so what did this investigation reveal?
She never answered me.
You wouldn't tell her how
So
bad I was.
So you're telling me that you tried to conduct this investigation under some kind of secret identity on Facebook, not telling her who you were, and found out that she's selling clothes so she could make some money for her household expenses, and you're telling me that, why again?
Well, no, I'm trying to explain to you how I was trying to get in to find out what I could about him, to see what she would say, what type of person he was.
And did you get in?
No, I didn't, because she wouldn't tell me. So, in my opinion, he's not a bad person, because if someone's got something to say about somebody,
And she
they
come
would
out
say
and say
it.
it.
Because I certainly would tell somebody about my ex-husband.
Don't do that.
You started it.
Okay.
It made stop laughing. We could stop laughing.
She's crying. He's laughing. Trying to get all in.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You are so fired.
Coming up, after a serious case of the giggles, Judge Alex gets an earful.
You didn't know you were pregnant at all?
Nope, no symptoms whatsoever.
No signs?
No.
Okay. So,
Then when I started getting an awkward feeling in my belly, almost like the baby moving, I went to a friend of mine who I happened to be dating at the time.
This week on Judge Alex, he found out the naked truth about his roommate.
I was a male dancer.
you're a male dancer?
Yes.
And this contractor was talking trash.
The worst cussing they have ever had.
The worst cussing that laborers have ever heard?
Judge Alex is back with a case of Megan Bidwell, who claims she was drunk the night she became pregnant with the daughter she shares with David Hale. She's suing David for $3,735 for a joint credit card account she claims he ran up and then abandoned her and their young daughter. But David Hale says Megan left him for another woman and refuses to allow him to see their daughter. He claims Megan opened the credit card, ran it up, and is now expecting him to pay for it.
So the two of you are dating, not dating, but you're friends according to you, dating according to him. But during the course of that, you got drunk and now you are the mother of his child.
Sadly, yes.
Sadly, yes? Okay. Except for the child.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Except for the child, which I'm sure is great. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So what happens?
I didn't know I was pregnant for months. I didn't know until I was
How many months?
Until I was 23 weeks along. I didn't have a single symptom.
23 weeks. That's
Yes,
like
I didn't gain
five,
weight.
5.5 months, something? So how did
No
you,
symptoms.
you didn't know you were pregnant at all?
Nope, no symptoms
No
whatsoever.
signs?
No.
Okay. So
Then when I started getting an awkward feeling in my belly, almost
Yeah.
like the baby moving, I went to a friend of mine who I happened to be dating at the time that I felt like I could be pregnant because of the drunken interaction with Mr. Hale. And I told him about it. He wouldn't take me to any doctor or anything to find out I was pregnant.
okay. So what continues between the two of you at that point? Are you still friends? You still hanging out? You still close?
I'm attempting to build an acquaintanceship so he can at least get to know the child.
Okay. And the child isn't born yet. So what happens? Are you guys living together or no?
At this point, he moves in with me and some of my relatives.
Okay. So at this point, you're trying to. You still know you're gay?
Yes.
So when he moves in with you, is it because you're trying to establish a relationship with him, or are you doing him a favor? What's going on?
He told us he was homeless.
Were you homeless?
At that point in time, no, I was not.
So why did you move in with her?
To build the acquaintanceship with the child.
Okay. So he moves in with you and your family. How does that go? Is he working?
He says he's working at a local store,
Okay.
and he documents that on the paternity papers when the child is born. Come to find out, he wasn't working at that store. He was walking around pushing shopping carts full of groceries and putting them in the shelves. And when the manager would try to confront him, he hid in the men's room and got banned.
That's a bunch of
Well, okay.
Coming up, just how hard has David been shopping around for a job?
So he goes to the grocery store where he does not work,
Yeah.
and he grabs a cart, and he takes things off the shelf and walks around and puts them back like he's restocking the shelves?
Yes.
Judge Alex is back with a case of Megan Bidwell, who's suing the father of her daughter, David Hale, for $3,735 because she claims he ran up their joint credit card and left her stuck with a bill after he abandoned their child. Megan is in court today with her current lover, Catherine Moore. David Hale says Megan left him for another woman, refusing to allow him to spend time with their daughter. He also claims that Megan ordered the credit card, ran up the bill, and now expects him to pay for it.
He's telling you he's working at a grocery store.
Yes.
He goes to the grocery store where he
Yes.
does not work.
No, he walks around with carts full of groceries.
So he goes to the grocery store where he does not work.
Yes.
And he grabs a cart, and he takes things off the shelf and walks around and puts them back like he's restocking the shelves?
Yes.
kind of stupid, huh? A little far-fetched.
So she's wrong when she says that you were actually, she's lying when she says you were actually faking like you had a job?
Absolutely.
Where would you go every day?
Where would I go every day? Out helping her relatives work.
All right, let me just get through this now, okay? You're suing him for the credit card, right?
Yes.
Because you say that he ran up, well, not he ran up, that you charged these $300 on a credit card and he agreed to pay it for you. He didn't, despite his, according to you, fraudulent attempt to do it. And as a result, it ran, just let me keep going here. And as a result, the charges ran up to, like, now $1,800.
Yes.
And mathematically, I don't even know how you can run them up in that short a period of time on interest and late charges. But, and by the way, you didn't bring the bill here so I could see the progression all the way through from 300 to today.
This is the copy of the statement that
Yeah, that's your current statement, but it doesn't show me if last week you and, is this your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Moore?
Yes.
Okay, doesn't show me if you and Miss Moore went on vacation on that credit card or something, you know.
I haven't known her that long.
She's
Not my
known her
point.
for a
Okay.
while.
You're also suing him for, your child's bed, your child's car seat, twin mattresses, twin bedding, pull-ups, clothing items, miscellaneous, other furniture, and cloth diapers. I am gathering from that he has not paid any child support.
No, none.
And you do have a child support order?
Yes.
Okay. Why haven't you
That
paid?
was just issued.
We asked if she needed anything. And because he's been looking for a job. I know we put in 100 job applications in a week.
So you asked her if she needed anything. What'd she say?
She said child support will take care of anything.
She
FYI.
needs.
She needs.
Yeah, and what do you think that means?
But I'm offering out of the kindness of my heart because all I want is for us to get along.
Are you receiving child support from somewhere else?
No. She has been supporting this child for the past 2 years since we have been
But she
together.
has no obligation to do. What she's talking about is you have a child support order that requires you to pay a certain amount. What she's saying is pay that amount and that will take care of all of these things. It comes.
That is beforehand, though. But the child support order was this
Look, he's the father. He's got an obligation to pay child support.
It was just ordered.
It was just ordered.
With this order?
Just ordered.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, your feeling is until a judge orders you to pay money for your child, you're not going to pay a penny.
We had no physical address to send anything to. And why should you have to go to Walmart and wire money when you can go out and purchase the physical item and mail it yourself?
It gets there faster.
And refuse to give you
All right,
address.
I am done. Done. I can't take another minute of this. This is the problem, man. When you don't bring receipts and you don't bring any evidence that you bought this stuff, I can't just go, oh, well, she says she bought a bed, she bought mattresses, she bought this here or that there. I don't know, because you could have gotten stuff from family members and all that, and I'm making him pay you for new stuff that you never bought. So it's your obligation to bring it in. So the only thing I can do is look at this and say, okay, the bare minimum that I can say you had to have spent no matter what. The best I can do with that is just round it off at like $1,200. $1,200 minimum, because we're at 3 years now. Make sure he has your address or you will never get a child support check. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,200.
All right.
Judge Alex has ruled in favor of the plaintiff and has ordered the defendant to pay her $1,200.
He still has deadbeat daddy syndrome, and he's still not going to take care of the child, whatever he
That's absurd.
I would hope that he would begin seeing his child more now that he has seen that I will take him to court for it if he refuses to be around.